Welcome back, True Seeker. Yesterday I put out a relatively short video on Caldwell Pope going to Philadelphia right after LeBron, when of course we told you back in June it looked like LeBron might be Philadelphia bound because of course he left LA, or he announced he was leaving LA June 30th, 76 days before the Pope's birthday. And of course, we've been proving in spades for a long time all these rigged sports are completely synced with the Pope, from the World Cup to pretty much every other sports championship you can think of. All roads do lead to Rome. I said something in the short video that I should have elaborated on, but I was in a hurry yesterday morning. As I told you guys, I had to go to church. Yes, I'll tell you about my experience in church. I actually found it quite comical. I'm used to old men leading the ministry. Yesterday we had a 37-year-old pastor. He said they don't even use the title minister or pastor. He just prefers to be called Brooks. But first time I ever had a definitely younger than me, but a young guy leading the sermon, and I'll tell you more about it later. It was funny. It was funny, but I actually enjoyed the experience. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, I was in a hurry yesterday because we had to go to church. And anyway, there's a lot more to this Caldwell Pope thing. I barely started to dabble into something that mattered a ton, and we're really going to get to it. You know, Caldwell Pope's coming from Memphis, where a king was killed, as in Martin Luther King Jr. And would you believe that LeBron is 7-6 on MLK Day? Remember, I've always talked about the assassination of Martin Luther. Well, they say he died, but it's pretty obvious to me that Martin Luther was assassinated, who wrote the 95 Theses, just like Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on the 95th day of the year. You know, the second one actually goes down as a legit assassination. Remember, Caldwell Pope, his birthday is February 18th, and that's the anniversary of Martin Luther dying. And remember, the Jesuits tried to kill King James as well, so we're really going to put it together. Shout out to AC, who realized that Caldwell Pope went to the 76ers, not only on the 25th of the month, the day after LeBron, but on the feast date for James the Greater. Yeah, we're going to put it all together, you guys. So we're going to talk more about that. I think a lot of people missed the note on James Patrick Green, who sanctified the Pope, who is 76 right now, whose name equals 76 in Gematria, whose name is also James, whose birthday is the day connected to James the Just. We really got to start paying attention to these Catholic mini holidays. You know, there's pretty much one every single day. I think we've been overlooking a lot here by not paying attention to these things. Like I mentioned yesterday, the head of the Church of Philadelphia was previously the head of the church in Cleveland, and he's from Miami. I mean, Cleveland, Philly, Miami, doesn't sound like LeBron. We also are going to talk about Mike Schmidt, the Philadelphia Phillies legend, who's 76 right now, who just threw out the first pitch at the All-Star game, who batted .267 for his career in Philly, the 267 area code. We're going to get into something that happened out in my neck of the woods. The mass shooting at The Bite in Seattle. I used to live right across the street from the Seattle Center. Went to The Bite every year. And I got to show you why this year was so perfect for a mass shooting national news story. It happened right at the very end of the event. If you've seen this story in the news, coverage like, this is a huge event that has at least 100,000 people come through every single day. What a scare for the community. It happens at the very end of the event, in the closing hours of the event. Made for TV. We'll talk about it. And they're blaming it on a 15-year-old, and it happened on the 15th day of the mayor's age. Just wait until you see how perfect it all is. Just like how everything leads back to the Vatican with rigged sports, it does as well with the rigged news. And we'll just see how perfect it is. Also, did you guys see they supposedly shot the guy who ran the car into the Pride Festival in Berlin? And look at his name, Abdul Balat. Do you see some numbers up there? Keep in mind, you guys, the car ramming the crowd was 201 days from the Vatican's birthday. You see a 201 in this guy's name? Didn't we just have an event at the Javits Center earlier in the week in New York that was the national news story with like the exact same numbers encoded in the perp's name. If you're new here and you don't know what these numbers mean, stick around because they're quite repetitive and they all lead back to the Vatican day after day. Day after day. By the way, did you guys also see that Ukraine supposedly attacked Iranian vessels? Did you guys see that story? We'll talk more about that one too. But yeah, I want to start right here with the thing that matters most to Americans. LeBron James. Again, if you guys don't think it matters most, just compare a video on LeBron James to the news stories that nobody compares about. People love their sports, they love their celebrities, they love their idols. So anyway, you know, if you guys weren't around, we were doing a stream the other night before Caldwell Pope went to the 76ers. A gentleman who goes by the name Smack Gang, he called in, he said, man, don't you think Caldwell Pope will probably go to the 76ers with LeBron being seen with the Pope? I said, man, that's a great thought. I bet you're right. And we didn't even have to wait long. In that same stream, because the stream's so long, it's like 9 hours long. In that same stream, later that night, the headline breaks that Caldwell Pope intends to join the 76ers. And again, for all the people out there that I don't know how you could possibly doubt this work based on all that's been accomplished and predicted over and over and over for 13 straight years. I really don't know how there can be any doubters, but somehow, some way, cognitive dissonance is a mother. Anyway, this Caldwell Pope, you see how he's going to make $3.9 million? You know who got killed at age 39 in Memphis, right? Because he's coming from Memphis to Philly. MLK. And MLK is from Georgia, just like Caldwell Pope. And I just really want you to see how ritualistic this is. I'm looking forward to mid-August, and I won't be surprised if they do it again, if they put out the NBA schedule on the Jesuit Order's birthday. They've done it plenty of times in the past. It's expected to come out mid-August. The Jesuit Order's birthday is August 15th. But, yeah, I'm thinking you got to look out for MLK's birthday, MLK Day, April 4th, the assassination. I'm going to be scanning right to those days to see what they got scheduled in the league. So anyway, again, we're going to cover some things that we already covered yesterday, but we're going to add a lot more to this. Caldwell Pope goes to Philly one day after LeBron on the 25th. Big Pope number in this Gematria code. Again, LeBron announced he was leaving LA 76 days before the Pope's birthday. We said that day. 76ers, a lot of 76 stuff going on. March Madness tournament is going to have 76 teams next year. The past NBA season began on 76 date numerology on Netanyahu's 76th birthday, who went to high school in Philadelphia, who graduated in 67. The year the championship was 76ers versus Warriors, when the Warriors are originally from Philly. And that's why I said, you know, to me it only makes sense if he goes to really one of two teams. The Warriors are a possibility to link up with Steph Curry, or just straight up the 76ers. And sure enough, 76ers. And of course, we clarified a few days later when they gave us the image of him and Embiid, and I said, a picture's worth 76,000 words. There you go. It's the 76ers. Bada bing, bada boom. Plus 700. Some books plus 500 for LeBron to go to Philly. Congrats to the winners. Anyway, if you're new here, the 4 base ciphers of the English language, you see them all on the screen. It's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with numerology. You can see how Caldwell Pope equals 52 and 56 with numerology, like the word Pope is 52 and 56 without numerology. We've talked about this stuff a lot with Caldwell Pope. He's no stranger to Pope rituals. Again, one more time, this is all about Kobe, too. LeBron going to Philly for the 81st NBA season when Kobe Bean Bryant equals 81, and he dropped 81 in his 666th career game when Mark of the Beast also equals 81. But yeah, from Kobe's death to this ritual, 339 weeks. And something that was pointed out to me that I didn't know all this time, or if I did, I'd forgotten. The day that LeBron passed Kobe in points scored, which was the day before Kobe died, when LeBron passed him in Philly, Kobe's hometown, Caldwell Pope was at the game wearing a t-shirt of Kobe Bryant as a skeleton. You can tell it was Kobe Bryant because he's in a Lakers 24 jersey. Like, this is going to be LeBron's 24th season, and he announced he's going to Kobe's hometown on the 24th, 24 days after saying he's leaving LA. But January 25th, from that January 25th game to the announcement would have been exactly 339 weeks later from the day Kobe died to the July 25th is a span of 339 weeks. But Caldwell Pope wore a shirt of Kobe Bryant as a skeleton on fire. I mean, just think about it. Before Kobe died, people just think like, oh, that's just some tribute to being on fire. In NBA, that's terminology for shooting really well. But anyway, as we talked about, his full name equals 114, like LeBron James. Also like the Archbishop of Philadelphia, but also like Martin Luther King Jr., okay? And again, Caldwell Pope, born on 2/18, the anniversary of Martin Luther dying, the head of the Catholic Church in Philadelphia, took his post on 2/18. And I don't know if there's something to that guy being born on Tupac's birthday. He was born a little bit before Tupac, but there could be something there with that too. But born in Miami, so this guy's connected to Miami, Cleveland, and Philly. He was the head of the Cleveland church before. I mean, come on. And from February 18th to July 25th, Caldwell Pope coming over 157 days. Big number with Kobe. Kobe Bryant died on his 157th day, being 41. LeBron, King James goes to Philly at age 41, Kobe's hometown, on the anniversary of King James becoming the king, when king also equals 41, like the year Kobe died at 41 on the 41st day of the Pope's age while traveling from Catholic Mass. LeBron went to win the finals that year, exactly 41 weeks after his birthday on Father-Daughter Day, a ritual that was only possible because of Cooties 19, which was simulated by the Jesuits with Event 201. A reminder that LeBron was born 201 days after the 1984 NBA Finals. But again, those Jesuits, once upon a time, they had a 41-year suppression. They like that number. So yeah, Kobe died on his 157th day, being 41. They said it was an accident. His daddy's name was Jelly Bean. His daddy wore 23 for the 76ers, like LeBron's going to do. In recent history, they announced the death of Kobe's father on the anniversary of Nate Thurman's death, who I'm pretty sure is LeBron's father. Remember, LeBron spoke out for the first time about which team he might go to without giving any real information on the anniversary of Nate Thurman's death. But yeah, don't forget this either. The Black Mamba film, you lose this road game, you don't go home. The catch line for the film, 157, exploding helicopter, predictive programming. Again, the Black Mamba, the name of that film, has the 79 like helicopter crash, also like LeBron Raymond James. It also has the 38. Kobe died 38 weeks after his wife's birthday after having the affair on her in the 38th state, Colorado. Kobe died synced with the Pope's 83rd birthday, helicopter crash 83. Caldwell Pope comes from Memphis Grizzlies, 83. Memphis 83. Philly hasn't won it since 83. The King of England and Ireland is what King James became on March 24th in the year 1603. That's the 83rd day of the year. And again, just right before that, you had this player die by the numbers connected to Memphis. I'm thinking he might be part of this ritual. But yeah, remember Martin Luther King, again, died in Memphis, from Georgia, like Caldwell Pope, who just left the Memphis Grizzlies to join the 76ers. If you'd lose the junior part, Martin Luther King is 83. We've talked about this before. He was murdered. Murder equals 83. The song Murder by Numbers by the Police came out in 83. The full name of Caldwell Pope is also 444. Again, in 1983, the catch line for that finals, if you look it up, is Moses Malone, the star of the 76ers, saying, "Foe, foe, foe." He thought the 76ers were going to sweep the entire NBA playoffs and win four games without getting beat. They almost did it. They did sweep the finals, but they lost one game. They lost to Milwaukee. They went 12-1 in the finals. 12-1. And don't forget, LeBron joined the 76ers on the 121st day of the 76ers age, the time they've been the Philadelphia 76ers. We covered that. Revelation equals 121, like Philly's named in the book of Revelation. Caldwell Pope comes over at age 33 for this ritual. You know, one of those magic numbers. Kobe, LeBron, James, NBA Finals, etc., etc. Special number, special ritual. Just for the record, again, Martin Luther. I've always pointed out how he wrote the 95 Theses, which brought about the Jesuits, and how Martin Luther King Jr., who assumed that name after Martin Luther, ended up getting assassinated on the 95th day of the year. Martin Luther died at age 62 in the year 46. Sacrifice equals 62 and 46. Again, Torah equals 62. Genesis 46 is about sacrifice. MLK represents Georgia. Georgia equals 62 and 46 as well, as does Caldwell Pope, who's from Georgia. Georgia 62-46. MLK killed on 4-4, representing Georgia, the fourth state. So that's kind of like a 4-4-4 thing. And they've done a lot of rituals with MLK Day and LeBron, and also they do a lot with the Atlanta Hawks, obviously, since that's MLK's hometown. But yeah, just for the record, from MLK, from the anniversary of Martin Luther's death to MLK's death is also 46 days. Isn't that interesting? Like Martin Luther died in 46. Execution equals 44 and 46. MLK killed on 4-4, executed. Sacrifice, again, 46 and 62. Don't forget, it's a Catholic thing, right? Catholic Church responsible for the language in the calendar. King James was born a Catholic. LeBron went to a Catholic high school. Kobe was a Catholic. LeBron just joined 76ers on Nick Nurse's birthday. Catholic. Half the people in the NBA, if not more than half, are Catholic or Jesuit educated. It's probably more than half, really, if you just start going through it. It's quite revealing. But that's why they employ all these Catholics in the fake truth community to always blame it on the small hats. Everything's small hats. But if you actually look and you have a brain, you're like, well, wait a minute. Small hats don't have school chains. They don't have hospital chains. Yeah, their names might be connected to news networks, but are these news networks picking what's on the news? No, that comes from the intelligence agencies. And if you look into all those pretty much across the world, that's very Catholic. So people are caught up on the middle managers because they're attached to the news networks. But the thing is, the news networks don't choose what's in the news. If you think they do, how come they're all broadcasting the same crap? How come no one's doing any investigative journalism? How come people who are doing investigative journalism, you know, if they may ever make the news, it's because they're being mocked and ridiculed like yours truly. Anyway, don't forget King James, baptized a Catholic, became king 35 days after his birthday. Don't forget the first Catholic president, JFK, number 35, killed at 46. 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. King James, again, Psalm 46 in his Bible, pays tribute to Shakespeare. LeBron's 4-6 in finals at the time of this move. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, and of course, King James equals 35. We've talked about it a million times. There's something about Kawhi. The same day LeBron said he was leaving LA, Kawhi, who's from LA, said he was returning to the Raptors at age 35, which also equals 35, which is Nick Nurse's old team. There's something up with that, so you got to pay attention to that this offseason, where that goes. And also noteworthy is this year, it's going to mark the 58th anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King. And again, the Jesuit fingerprints are all over it, just like the Jesuit Catholic fingerprints are all over the death of Martin Luther in 46 on 218, when Holy Roman Empire equals 218 like death. But don't forget the real King James, he also died at 58. And don't forget that in 2016, LeBron won the finals on the real King James's birthday. And then Trump, for the 58th U.S. presidential election, had the convention for the GOP in the Cavs Stadium, and he'd announced from the 58-story Trump Tower, and there are about 1,058 rituals leading up to the rigged 58th election, which gave us the chump, including the death of Prince and Vanity the day of the 58th Grammys, and syncing things up with the Queen, and Purple Rain's 58, Queen of England's 58, London, England's 58, Freemasonry's 58, which comes out of London, England. It's a special number. The first degree of Freemasonry is the entered apprentice, like Trump's the apprentice. And don't forget, modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation, and the Jesuits are the military order of the Pope. But anyway, this year's going to mark 58 years since MLK's assassination, which, again, it traces back through Martin Luther, King James. All this stuff is connected. King James ended up dying at 58. The current Pope, who all this is synced with, became the Pope on May 8th. He went to school at Villanova, just outside Philly. Pope Leo XIV, 58 forwards, 41 in reverse. So LeBron doing this move at 41, big king number, all synced with the Pope. Keep in mind, LA's 41. Los Angeles Lakers and Kobe Bryant both equal 58. Kobe Bryant's also 41. All this stuff synced. Isn't it amazing how they replaced popes too? They had the whole Kobe thing synced with Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope. Now you got the new pope, the first American who's connected to Chicago, like Jordan, who's compared to LeBron and Kobe. But just how they bring all this together, I mean, it is pretty amazing, but they're doing it. So anyway, King James, Martin Luther King Jr., the Society of Jesus, Jesus the King of Kings. I heard a lot of that phrase yesterday while I was in church. Anyway, MLK, again, King. King is the word. And yeah, don't forget the Jesuits tried to kill King James on Remember the 5th of November. The last election of Chump was on November 5th. He got 58% of the Electoral College. Don't forget who told you way before it why he'd be in there winning it. And don't forget who told you there'd be assassination stories on that campaign trail in tribute to 1968 and MLK and RFK. Again, we're always a million miles ahead of the curve. How's my daughter already waking up? Tell me she's going back to bed. Okay, looks like she's going back to bed. Okay. But yeah, just all this stuff, just part of one big script, and you can see who's controlling it all. Don't forget, MLK gave his last speech the day before his death in Memphis at the Masonic Temple. And, you know, I was thinking more about LeBron's last, or where he won it on real King James' birthday. We've always talked about the Warriors going down with 89 on the real King James' birthday. But now just watching this, and part of me speculated that it could have had something to do with MLK because there was always a lot of games between Curry and LeBron on MLK Day. I think that's what it was about. LeBron scoring 93 on the King James birthday anniversary as the Warriors went down. You know, just look at it now. Look at everything going on. 4-point game. LeBron's now on his 4th team, bringing Caldwell Pope from Memphis, the Georgia native from the 4th state. And again, LeBron is 7-6 on MLK Day for his career. 7-6, you guys, as he joins the 76ers. And let's see. LeBron played Curry. I wonder if that fell on MLK Day that year. It would have been close. Oh, of course, what's wrong with me? These are all MLK Day games. Jeez. Get some more sleep. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4 straight years in a row. One of them was Lakers-Warriors. 4 straight years like there were 4 straight finals. LeBron versus Curry. They did it again this year, or another year. So 5 times it was LeBron versus Curry. And don't forget, if you look up what the name Steven means, which is exactly how Steph Curry spells his name, so it's the same name. Pronounces it Stephen, spelled like Steven. But the name means crown. The name means crown. And MLK did give some historic speeches in Philly. His most notable one was in 65. Go figure, Philadelphia equals 65. Called the 65 City. And he gave it on 8-3. Isn't that interesting? That was before Tom Brady was born on that day. And, of course, we keep talking about all this 83 stuff, 1983. So I find that interesting. His next most notable speech in Philly was on October 26th. Remember what I told you we got to look out for this year on October 26th? The 107th game of the 107th NFL season. Philadelphia hosting Dallas, LeBron's team. And that's also the anniversary of the death of Sikorsky, who's the guy who made the helicopter that Kobe supposedly died in. That was from the year Netanyahu graduating in high school in Philadelphia. That speech was in 67. And then in 63, he literally gave a speech there on Philadelphia's birthday. That's the day leaving 65 days left in the year. And that's the year that the 76ers moved to Philadelphia. So I said, that's interesting. The 3 notable speeches in Philly are 4 years apart, too. 63, 65, 67. And this year, MLK Day will fall on January 18th. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 118. Even Philadelphia, PA is 118. Uh, I'm going to skip this part for now, but, you know, that 5976 code, LeBron joining Memphis on Nick Nurse's 59th birthday, joining the 76ers. Caldwell Pope coming up from the Grizzlies. Memphis, predominantly black city. I went back in time too, because have you guys seen this press conference? LeBron's first press conference. He's got his teammate standing behind him in a Philly jacket. Talk about a script. And the Cavs won the lottery. Remember, that was the feel-good story. Oh my God, the Cavs won the lottery. They're going to get the Ohio superstar script. But it's interesting that the date that they won the lottery was the 20th anniversary of Game 1 of the 83 finals, where the 76ers beat the Lakers. And isn't it funny how, Game 1, 113 points in the 1-1-3 league, and the Lakers had 107 that year, and all of this is coinciding with the 107th NFL season? Something up with that. Yeah, we went over a lot of this stuff the other day. Game 3, 205 points, like LeBron joined the 76ers on the 205th day of the year. LeBron, Raymond James, 205. When he passed Kobe, the Lakers fell to 20-5 on the road. Again, he puts the bucket through with 7:24 on the clock and joins the 76ers on 7:24. Philly was on 74 points when it happened. That was the 74th season. LeBron joins the 76ers 74 days after his last game with the Lakers, which was also a 115-point game. Like the last game of Game 4 was 115-108 for a total of 223 when Philadelphia equals 223, like the Synagogue of Satan. The letter to the Church of Philadelphia about the Synagogue of Satan. Those numbers always coming together with that city. LeBron also drafted on the 179th day of his age, you guys, the 41st prime. 179th day, 41st prime. The King, who played his first game versus the Kings. And notice he was drafted on 26/6, like the Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator equals 266. The first Jesuit Pope was number 266, the one Kobe's death was synced with. One of the important ciphers outside of the base ciphers is what Derek's renamed Standard. Jesuits is 724. Go figure. You can join Philly on 724, the anniversary of King James becoming the king, who the Jesuits tried to kill. And again, that's not the best image there. I could have picked a better one. But Caldwell Pope, you can look it up. The day that LeBron passed Kobe, he was at the game with a Kobe as a skeleton on fire shirt. More script. And yeah, the day came over. The feast date for St. James the Greater. Look at the gematria of St. James the Greater, you guys. 218, like Caldwell Pope's birthday, like Martin Luther's death anniversary, like the day the Philadelphia Archbishop became the Philadelphia Archbishop. Holy Roman Empire, 218. Death, 218. It's coming. 83. Do I need to say any more about 1983, the last time Philadelphia won? 322. Goes without saying, huge number of the Kabbalah, of the Cabal, of Skull and Bones, which have their signatures all over these rituals too. Skull and Bones is 41 and 76. LeBron to the 76ers at age 41. Skull and Bones, they get their symbolism from the Templars, who are the old military order of the Pope. They're modeled after the Illuminati, which was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. It's also 124, the 93rd prime. That 93 number goes with MLK, LeBron's winning score, the day of King James' birthday when they won it with the Cavs. James the Great, or James the Greater, he's known as both. Oh, by the way, in Hispanic cultures, if you look this up, they have his feast date as a different day in Latin cultures. It's December 30th, LeBron James's birthday. Look it up. But yeah, this guy died in 44 AD as well. 44 AD. Does that remind you of the MLK piece? Dead on 4-4. The Georgia Connection, 44. Part of me wonders if LeBron will play till 44. I actually suggested that might be the case a long time ago because, again, I'll remind you guys of this. LeBron signs first lifetime deal with Nike. Nike was 44 years old when this happened. Look at this right here, you guys. So this a long time ago, I said, man, does that mean he's got to play until he's 44? December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day 2015, LeBron becomes the first athlete to sign a lifetime contract with the company to celebrate Nike's 44-year history. And I said back then, too, I said that doesn't seem good for LeBron's longevity because that 44 number is all around death and killing. And we'll be talking about that in a minute because the bite in Seattle that got shot up, it's 44 years old, and the mayor just turned 44 days ago. We'll put it all together here. I mean, I've educated about these same things only a bazillion times. But, yeah, don't forget, man, this is all synced up with the Pope and the man who sanctified the Pope, you know, Mr. 76 years old, whose birthday is also the day of James the Just. I mean, can you imagine thinking it's anybody other than the Catholic Church responsible for all this? The only one in the world with the infrastructure. The only one that has the physical capability to do it. The only one that has half the players in the leagues having attended their schools and coaches and on and on and on. I mean, again, we're on their calendar. Again, literally, we're speaking. I mean, you guys, just right there. That's how I realized. Because when I first came, when I was first, you know, trying to figure out what was going on in the world, I was hearing other people too. Everyone blames the Jews. It's the Jews. It's the Jews. It's Israel. I heard all the same stuff. And you look at things like 9/11. I mean, I was looking at things after 9/11 happened as an 18-year-old. It was true that Ehud Barak, the leader of Israel, told us what to do. The dancing Israeli stories was in the mainstream news. And now I start to realize, I was like, man, that's how they bait people. They're actually doing that for anyone looking into things. Look at this on CBS, the dancing Israelis. Who else do you think did it? But then you start to research and you're like, oh, look at this. The Jesuit codes all over the creation of Israel, all this stuff. They got other people to do their bidding, to do their crusades for them in the Middle East. Fund that nation so they can get all the blame. That's what's going on, you guys. These people are clever as hell. But yeah, that's when I started to realize, like, well, wait a minute. It's all this Catholic stuff's encoded in the language. They're responsible for the language in the calendar. And then you literally start to look at things. Is there a great big private Jewish school network in the world? Nope. There sure isn't. Can anyone name a pro athlete that went to a Jewish school? I don't think there's one in the world. Maybe somewhere in some obscure league in some part of the world, not any major pro-American sports. Go take a look at all the guys that went to Catholic and Jesuit schools that play in pro sports in America. It'll blow your mind if you just start looking. Same with the coaches. Again, the biggest sport in America, the NFL. What's that trophy they're playing for? The Jesuit Lombardi Trophy. I mean, it's in your face once you see it. And again, at the beginning of the nation, was anyone warning about Jews taking over the nation? No, there weren't any warnings about Jews taking over the nation from the founders. That wasn't a threat. How about warning about the Jesuits? Oh, that was happening. Oh, that was a conversation. The Catholic Church. I wonder why. Maybe because it was part of the reason half the people fled across the Atlantic. So again, what we have here in modern day society is people who just can't see the obvious. You know, they can't see the obvious. And then there's a network of misinformation and purposeful bait. You know, like, you guys know Brian from High Impact Flicks, Catholic educated himself. Funny enough, his name equals Jesuit order, and I would have thought that was a coincidence, but when him and Owen Benjamin had their debate a couple of years back, they started with the first 15 minutes making fun of my work. Granted, it was mostly Owen Benjamin doing the talking, and Brian just going, yeah, I don't really think gematria really proves anything. But Owen Benjamin, born on the 144th day of the year, Brian's name equals 144 and 54, like Jesuit order. They're two primary numbers. Anyway, he's just another one of these people that's been around for a long time and every day just blaming everything on Jews in Israel every day. Jews in Israel. Look, here's another headline. Let me say my same 5 catchphrases and say, Jews in Israel. That's all he says. Catholic educated. Grew up Catholic. So anyway, there's a lot of them out here. And of course, there's ones way bigger than Brian at High Impact Flicks, but he's had a pretty prominent channel on YouTube for over a decade. You start looking at the Tim Pools, the Candace Owens, who recently converted to Catholicism, pretty much everything except for the guy with the squeaky voice, Ben Shapiro, who's fallen off the map. All of these big names in social media and stuff are pretty much all Catholics. So anyway, let's continue. Mike Schmidt, you guys. He probably needs to look out. Just threw out the first pitch at the All-Star Game, 76 years old right now, like Julius Erving. His birthday is the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. And speaking of that date, September 27th, look at this, you guys. We call Philly the 65 city. LeBron joined July 24, 2026. Look how many days before the big Jesuit day that was, 65. 65, which is also Mike Schmidt's birthday. Endless rituals with Philly in 65. Don't forget the last time Philly was in the World Series. Congrats to the winners. We had that peg covered in a major way from spring training. 20-1 to win the pennant that year. Again, that was the 118th World Series. Like Philly has the double connection to 118. We also had a chip on the Dodgers, the only other 118 city in the NL. And we were glad to see it was Philly because Philly was a way better payout than LA, but we covered the two 118 spots. Anyway, go back and look. That year, they solved the boy in the box murder from 65 years earlier, from 57, right before the World Series that Philly was in. That's where they lost to the Astros, but they solve, again, just right before the World Series, they solve a murder from 57, when we teach about the World Series in 57 every year. And it was from 65 years ago. One of really another gazillion examples. But yeah, realizing that Mike Schmidt is 76, big Philadelphia sports star, his birthday. You got to love that he batted 267. I mean, just these perfect scripts, man. These perfect scripts. That's the Philly area code. Anyway. Just about, Catholic dominance in the world. Seattle. There's 27 remaining Jesuit universities in the U.S., I want you to see how perfectly coordinated this shooting is with Seattle University. And for anybody who watches to go, man, they said it's some little 15-year-old gangbanger kid. Okay. Do you know that somebody didn't put him up to it? I'll remind you that Amazon out of Seattle remade the show Utopia during the time of the lockdowns during Cooties 19. If you haven't watched Utopia, you've been missing out. It was a remake of a show from 2013 out of the UK about billionaires faking a pandemic for mass depopulation and other agendas. What a nice show for Amazon to make during the lockdown. The billionaires used the media to fake a pandemic. What a great show to remake. Talk about a major FU to humanity. But again, if you watch Utopia, there's so many little interesting nuggets in the show, including the billionaires raising children to be mass shooters. Oh yeah, all kinds of things in the show. But okay, so look at this. I've talked about a bazillion times about the assault weapons ban, the last major gun control legislation happening on the 13th of September, 2 years to the day of Tupac's death from gun violence. Tupac, who was in the movie Above the Rim, where the hit song Regulators came out of. Anyway, gun control, 139 and 49, right? The last major act of gun control on 13/9, by the way, Tupac Shakur equals 139. But look at this. I mean, this shooting at the Bite of Seattle in a liberal mecca was 49 days before that anniversary, and gun control and Bite of Seattle both equal 139 and 49. And the shooter was nice enough to wait until the closing minutes of the festival to unleash the chaos. Where, by the way, we get this really convincing video of what happened. Who could miss this clip right here? Don't worry about the sound. Here's the footage of what happened, you guys. Can't you tell there was a mass shooting? Look at those two gay guys holding hands right there. Oh my God. Take the rights away right now. I mean, I just get so tired of the news. Show us something. Stop treating us like we're a bunch of virgins over here who've never seen anything terrible. Everyone just turned on Netflix 5 minutes later and watched the worst horror slasher scene in 5 seconds that was recommended as one of the top 3 movies of the day. Anyway, here, let's come back. 49 days before the anniversary. And what year was that assault weapons ban? Wasn't it in 94? How many times have I educated about all the rigging and rituals in Seattle with 94? I mean, I've literally been out there with a megaphone before the Seahawks opener the other year saying, hey, Seattle fans, prepare for the L because Matt Stafford's about to get his 94th win today. And, both Seattle Super Bowls are now about 94. Darnold played his 94th game, winning the Super Bowl. That was 12 years after their last Super Bowl, which was in the 94th season. And then, of course, who kicked the bucket? Russell Wilson's grandpa at 94. And part of me wonders if they just make this stuff up, too. Is like, does Russell Wilson even have a 94-year-old grandpa, or are they just doing that to kick us in the nuts? Bill Gates lost his father at 94. He lost his mom in 94. He got married on the first day of 94 to Bill Gates, the biggest Seattle celebrity. Well, he became that in 94 because Kurt Cobain died 94 days after their wedding, and on and on and on and on and on. And don't forget where this hoax started, in Bill Gates' backyard with the big needle, another big 94. I mean, we've educated about 94 in Seattle a bazillion times. So let's go to Seattle, 94 land, and let's have another drop in the bucket for what we're eventually going to do to you when we take away all the right, or I should say we should take away the rest of that Second Amendment, because it's going to happen at some point in history. The younger generation will vote all their rights and liberties away because they grew up with nothing but stories like this week after week, day after day. And this is how it works. They don't do things overnight. It's a lot of conditioning, but just day after day, year after year, they pay tribute to this assault weapons ban, and it's stuff just like this. But let's continue. Because that's not all. It happened at the Seattle Center, which was built for the 1962 World's Fair, 64 years ago. And they called this thing a food festival, which is what it is. Almost all the headlines say food festival. Locals know it as the Bite of Seattle, which is where this terminology came from up here. That's what they call it up here, the Bite of Seattle. Some of the headlines mention it's called the Bite of Seattle. But almost everyone just called it a food festival. Let's see here. Food festival. Okay. So the Seattle Center is 64 years old. They put the assistant police chief on the scene, Tyrone Davis. And if you look at the local news around here, it's just a bunch of racists in there. Why don't they talk about the race of the shooter? It's obviously one of those black kids from South Seattle. We're so progressive, liberal state or city, but we're totally segregated, and some of us really don't like those darkies on the other side of Dearborn. But anyway, food festival, and they got to give you the black assistant police chief too, right? But we see this as par for the course. Food festival, and Tyrone Davis is telling us all the details. And here's the best part. From Seattle University, which was also born on the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, from the shooting to their upcoming birthday, span of 64 days. Wow. Not to mention this also happened on the 97th day of the Seattle Center's age, which is April 21st is when it's born, which is Rome's birthday, like how they got rid of the first Jesuit Pope on that day by the numbers, as we covered a little more than a year ago. But remember, the Vatican's 97 right now. And since it happened on the 97th day of the Seattle Center's age, death is 97. For the record, Roman Catholicism's 97. The Catholic Church has always wanted to control humanity. And, as religion fades out, they got to get in other avenues to control humanity. Government, sports. As long as they're doing the controlling and being the beneficiaries of the control, let's just do it from every angle possible. That's what people need to understand about what's going on in the world. Keep in mind, this happened on 26/7, 267. Aren't we in the time of the 267th Pope? Katie Wilson just turned 44. She was born the same year as the Bite of Seattle in 82. And by the way, being born in 82, destined for the Seattle Mariner, the Seattle mayor. The first two people to die from the shooting, you guys, ages 19 and 44. Remember last year, we told you before the playoffs began, we said, hey man, every year there's been a new Pope. In recent history, Seattle's gone to the Super Bowl. Look how they got it lined up this year. If Seattle wins their games to make it to the Super Bowl, they'll be 19 and 19, exactly 19 weeks after the Pope's birthday for their postseason record. 19 and 19 in the postseason. Sure enough, they do it. They're up 19-0 in the Super Bowl. Wasn't the Super Bowl on the 8th day of the second month, 8-2? So anyway, Katie Wilson, born in 82. The first two people dead from the shooting, 19 years old and 44 years old. And then a third person died. You see how 3 equals 56? We talk about this all the time. The third person to die was age 56. Remember Super Bowl 56, 3.5 point spread. We had the dog to cover the 3. And we had Odell Beckham, number 3, for the first touchdown. The knowledge pays. You guys, I'm just trying to tell you, they just do the same thing with everything. Fake news, fake sports. If you don't get it, you might just be a little bit too slow, okay? These people are scripting it all. Fake news, rig news, rig sports. All day, every day. The shooting also did happen 50 days before the Pope's birthday, and it's even bigger in the news today because it happened last night. You see how gun control is 50 in reverse, 49's forwards? So yesterday was 50 days before the Pope's birthday, the day of the shooting. Today, all the coverage in the news, 49 days before. We were talking about that with Bite of Seattle, 49 days before the anniversary. It's probably synced up with the Seahawks season too. They'll probably do a moment of silence for their opener. Wouldn't be the first time there was the Marysville Pilchuck shooting where what was it? It was the casino owner in the area's son called all of his family members to the cafeteria and then opened fire on his own friends and family. And then that became a big storyline, and the Seattle Seahawks wore a patch for that all year. If you guys remember that story from about a decade back. Nothing suspicious there. A prominent person in the community's son calls the close people to the family to the cafeteria and opens up fire on them, which becomes a story connected to the football team. It doesn't sound weird to you? The shooting happened 153 days after the governor's birthday. Remember, it's synced with the Jesuit University, Jesuit Order 153. Let me see here. Let's continue. Last year they had the flooding 52 synced with the governor, and 52 days before the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. Same ritual they did with Houston when Harvey flooded, and Matt Harvey was the first pitcher to pitch in Houston. And again, look up the first act of weather warfare. It happened on the Jesuit Order's birthday, August 15th, 52. For anyone who thinks weather warfare is a joke, you're a joke. This country banned weather warfare 50 years ago, so if they had to ban it, must be a real thing then, huh? That only takes about 52 IQ points to figure out. But anyway, Katie Wilson. Let me come back to that Jesuit Order thing. Katie Wilson. Remember how she became the laughing stock of the nation when she said the really dumb things that she said at the Jesuit University Seattle U on the anniversary of the Titanic sinking, which was written about 12 years before it happened in Futility Wreck of the Titan. And also the anniversary of Lincoln getting shot, where John Surratt got away, and that doesn't go in our slave school textbooks. Everyone should look up John Surratt, the Jesuit who got away and was protected by the Vatican. But April 14th, Katie Wilson, the Seattle mayor, was at Jesuit Seattle U saying really dumb things that made her the laughing stock of the nation. Now, what's interesting is that was the midway point from her becoming mayor at the start of the year. That was 103 days after she became mayor. And this shooting was 103 days later, which of course is 206 days after she became mayor, like Seattle's the 206, like Russell Wilson had 206 passing yards in the first rigged Super Bowl for Seattle, and then last year the kicker set the record with 206 points in a season by the conclusion of the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's just funny how that works out too, because that's another Jesuits code, the old 103. And the shooting was 257 days after the state's birthday. We just talked about the 257 code the day before with what they did in Berlin, and yesterday they supposedly killed the Berlin maniac who drove his car into the crowd, who hated gay people, was the story, which is really, more of a conservative religious thing, which the Catholic Church absolutely pushes. So yeah, 257 days after the state's birthday, blood sacrifice code. And it's November 11th. If anybody wants to run the math on this, I already did it for you, but you're welcome to double check it. Again, they got to tell you, the first two victims were 19 and 44. When I saw that, I just said, you got to be kidding me. And then a 56-year-old. The most famous celebrity to ever have gone, well, actually, outside of athletics, the most famous celebrity to have ever gone to Seattle U also died in 56. Remember the formal title of the Jesuits, Society of Jesus, is 56. This shooting happened on 79 date numerology. It's just like the fake pandemic, Anthony Fauci, Jesuit-educated Mr. 56. The pandemic was declared on his 79th day, being 79. Melinda Gates, born on the same day as the Jesuits. Melinda French Gates, like the Jesuits are from France, her birthday, same day as the Jesuit Order's August 15th. There was a gazillion 56s with the pandemic. But yeah, Melinda, who helped simulate it, did turn 56 in 2020. So yeah, it's just, come on, man. I mean, this isn't real. This stuff's not real, you guys. I'm sorry. It's not going to be this way every time. Unless it's some kind of, it's like the show Utopia where they program the kid exactly who to go kill and somehow they got these two people there. I mean, that seems a lot harder to facilitate than to just make it up. And again, where's the proof that any of this stuff's happening? That footage they released, the 5-second clip of a few people looking like somebody farted real loud in the crowd. Some people weren't even moving their feet. Anyway, shooting, 44. And by the way, add up those three ages, right? What is 56 plus 44? Isn't that 100? Plus 19 more, isn't that 119? Isn't that like the Fraternal Order of Police? The FOP, the Masonic Order? Fraternal Order of Police, 119? in their logo. Look it up. It's the all-seeing eye, 119. It's all synced with the Vatican, 119. Katie Wilson just turned 44 days ago. The Bite of Seattle just turned 44 this year. 44 years old. Katie Wilson, some schnoz on that one. And she's the 58th mayor, too. And again, 206 days after taking office, sacrifice equals 206 if anyone really was killed. And then, yeah, today, they got to tell you a 15-year-old shooter. The shooting happened on the 15th day of her age. And what are they going after? They're going after the guns. Gun is 15 like ammo. So, hold on. I'm just going to let this one sit on the screen for a second. They got the guy who did the Berlin thing that happened 201 days for the Vatican's birthday. I'll be right back, you guys. I'm going to check on Sweet Girl real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. I think she's... Let's hope she sleeps for a little bit longer. She's fluttering around, but her eyes are closed. Yeah. Again, if you missed my work on what happened in Berlin, you should definitely check it out. If you've missed the work we've been doing for the better part of the decade, this 201 number, it's just a book I refuse to finish. People were right 5 years ago. They said you should just put it out and just keep adding to it. Should have done that. Part of the reason I never finished is because once we locked into this 201 thing, I just realized, I'm like, man, they're doing this stuff almost every day. So my intention at the time was to write a really short book since people don't like to read, and then it just turned into this big behemoth. And I was like, okay, this is exactly what I didn't want to do. And now I don't know what to cut out. It's just, yeah. I got 2 books out there. They really are enough, but in terms of educating about this topic. But yeah, this 201 thing needs to be understood because nobody ever really locked into what 201 meant to this cabal until we came along. And there were a lot of people, and I of course I spearheaded it, but a lot of people made some really great observations in record time, and we said, man, this thing is huge. But yeah, this attack was 201 days from the Vatican's birthday. And here, if you need to see that, it was July 25th. And if I can get this thing to load. The Vatican's upcoming birthday is 2/11/2027, right? So 201 days from the upcoming birthday. And I think there's a joke here with it being a Muslim man because it's synced with the Vatican's 98th birthday, right? Prophet's 98. So we got a Muslim. We got a Muslim man, the Vatican, they waged those crusades against Islam. Now they pay those synagogue of Satan types. I shouldn't say pay, but they use those synagogue of Satan types in that 201 nation, state of Israel, where from the whole beginning of the country up to the present, it's all 201, just like the Jesuit order, just like the Holy Bible. It's obvious that, Israel's a violation of Jewish prophecy. They're not to have a state until their Messiah returns. So thus they are the synagogue of Satan. I mean, it's just biblical fact. But anyway, just everything that's encoded here, right? 33 years old. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is the only number they use more than 201. Berlin is where it happened. 33, like order, like secrecy, like police. It likely was a CIA operation. The CIA operates overseas. Federal 33, Masonry. Again, if you missed everything I showed about the actual attack, I already covered that in a video. I'm not going to do it again. But the Jesuit fingerprints were all over it. The Masonic fingerprints were all over it. Again, modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. 123 is the conspiracy number. And don't forget, I mean, at the start of the week, you had this story right here. In front of the federal Jacob K. Javits Federal Building, you had, this false flag type of thing, this Army veteran fire off some shots and make some big booms in a protest against the ICE policies, which really everyone should be protesting. They're costing us a lot of money. They're building the police surveillance state. They're not making the country safer. They're making everything more expensive because not only do we have to pay more tax money, but they've actually scared good working people from working in the fields, which has caused a lot of produce to spoil, which has driven up the cost of the grocery store. Which is all being done by design, of course. It's not an accident. It's not incompetence. It's all intentional. But yeah, anyway, we covered this. I'm just saying it's like the same. It's almost the same damn numbers all across the board. And then the other thing about this is I heard them say, watching this news story yesterday, when they said they shot this guy who supposedly did this, so much for justice, we'll just shoot you. This happens all the time too, right? In these false flags. And you guys, think about this too. Imagine somebody from the state actually drove the car into the crowd, hurting all those people. And then imagine, they just, there's people that have rap sheets that are out free on the streets. Like this guy, he was released. Imagine that they just shoot this guy and just say it was him and just report in all the headlines, it was him. We killed him. He's dead. He was a criminal. He got released earlier this year. He shouldn't have been out. They might have released this guy. Didn't I just talk about the local? You guys, where's my book at? Where did I put it at? It might be in the other room. I've been talking about, oh, that's my book. It's right here. I've been talking about this right here, right? This buzzing book in our town right here. Major 201 ritual. It was the national news story in 1974 for the World's Fair. This guy blew up the federal judge, James Lawless, who became a judge after the election on Remember the 5th of November, the day the Jesuits tried to blow up King James. And he killed the judge 201 days after his birthday, and the judge was born on the 201st day of the nation's age. Remember, this guy was released, he did all this in 74. Look at this, you guys. From this guy being released from jail to the killing was 74 days later. It's just like how Event 201 put on by the Jesuits was October 18th, the day leaving 74 days left in the year, the day to celebrate the Cooties 19. Or not to celebrate, but to simulate the Cooties 19. But they released this guy early from prison. He just got released on September 27th out of nowhere. He had a 15-year prison sentence, and they just let him out 2 months in. And then he goes and sets the whole town on fire and kills a judge when Ignatius Loyola, the Jesuit founder, said, "Go forth and set the world on fire." I mean, remember the Waukesha running over the Christmas parade in November story was a big 201 thing, and that guy had just been released from prison? Okay, so this guy just got released. And 74 days later, he's, I forget if they reported this guy said Allahu Akbar. I mean, they do it almost every time. But again, killing 74, if there was an Allahu Akbar, we've seen it a million times before. It's just, look at this, you guys. I mean, look at this. It drives me insane that everybody's not talking about this. It's because everyone's a paid off piece of shit. This is what is going on in the world every single day, and it's the same damn... it happened here in this tiny town back in 1974, but it was the national news story. It's the same, it's just the same, it's rinse and repeat. It's just doing the same thing across the world. And by the way, if you counted the span, if you change this to the span, instead of it being 74 days later, it'd become a span of 75 days, right? Order out of chaos is 75, New World Order is 75, Catholic Church is 75, Roman Catholic 75. But I mean, come on, man. And by the way, how about this? How about Ukraine attacking Iranian vessels 181 days after Zelensky's birthday? And remember, the Russia-Ukraine war, it was a big 201 ritual. Biden and Putin met 201 days into the first Jesuit nation year. Days later, Russia attacked on the anniversary of the Jesuits implementing the calendar in the Donbass region, which equals 201. The war with Israel and Hamas that spread into the whole region, 201 galore. Everything going on in Iran, all those numbers and more. All of these things perfectly coordinated with the superior general and the Pope. But look at this. Come on, man. 181 days after Zelensky's birthday, all of these things are intersecting more and more. Of course, 181 is the 42nd prime. They attack Iran. Remember when Iran supposedly fired 181 missiles at Israel? This was a story, right? And the only person who died was a Palestinian man. It's just like I said that day. I was like, I doubt 181 missiles were fired. In all likelihood, Israel shot a rocket into Palestine, which is why the only one who died was a Palestinian. But they can report whatever and get away with it in the media. And there's even more to this, but it's just like, come on, I mean, it's all this stuff. And don't forget, Zelensky was an actor who did a show about a populist, just regular guy rising up and creating his own political party and becoming the president of Ukraine, only to then do the exact thing and become the president of Ukraine. All by the numbers. It's all stuff we've covered in the years past. But just what a show. What a joke. The nonstop ritualism and all these frauds out here hogging up the bandwidth and getting promoted in the algorithm and keeping everybody from the thing that could actually set humanity free from these lies. Again, if everybody figured out what was going on, they'd see who actually runs it. They'd stop having their energy manipulated. And then the pitchforks could come out. And isn't it funny? Didn't that happen in Italy a long time ago? Isn't that how the mob was created there? We need to find that early mob day spirit and get out the pitchforks and hold these new mafioso types accountable. Yeah. We got to get gangster against the right group of people. Everyone's got the wrong J's. They got the wrong J's. The Jays aren't celebrating St. James the Greater. What do you mean? When I see the NBA ownership, I see a lot of those other Jays. Yep. They're the middle managers, I'm telling you. They know how to use these people like a shield. They just put them right there on the TV, so that's who you see, while they stand behind them and laugh. You can't see past that guy's nose. Anyway, let me drop the link here. If you got here late, you might want to rewind because I know most of you guys came from the LeBron thing. I hit all that at the beginning, and then I went into other things to remind that the same people pulling the strings on LeBron's career. Isn't it just annoying to listen to these talking suits? Yeah, LeBron's a really smart guy. I think he made the right choice going to Philly. Don't you just wish I could just show up like this in the wife beater with the hat like this and be like, can we stop the cap, you guys? Are you really this dense? How come in all these years you haven't mentioned how he won the only finals for the Cavs on the real King James's birthday? First game against the Kings. Now he goes to Philly, a biblically named town. Like King James is associated with the Bible on King James's birthday anniversary. Can we stop the cap? How come you guys aren't talking about how he left LA 76 days before the Pope's birthday? Now he's on the 76ers being joined by Caldwell Pope, going with how in his first press conference he had that monster Catholic chain on, going with this Catholic high school. I thought you guys are the worldwide leader in sports. Looks like the worldwide leader in dipshitism. They can't see the obvious. What are we doing up here talking about rigged sports like they're real? Are you kidding me? Why doesn't that happen? We know why that doesn't happen. I'm being facetious. They got to keep all the dummies. They got to keep all the sheep in line. They got to keep selling them the circus, selling them the bullshit, because that's all that goes on every day on the screens. They got to keep your mind conditioned to accepting rigged bullshit so that you think it's real. The cowherd guy. His name sounds like Coward. It sounds like an animal herder. Colin Cowherd. I've seen him numerous times over the years. He doesn't say my name, but it's obvious who he's talking about. Oh, yeah, these conspiracy theorists online saying sports is rigged with numerology. Yeah, we prove it every single day. Every day. What's up, punk rock?
What's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
I wanted to add to the Bite in Seattle shooting.
Oh, you got even more? Okay.
Yeah, so it happened right under the Space Needle. A Space Needle 44, but it also has the 208.
Oh, snap. Of course. I forgot that Space Needle equals 44. Yeah, good one.
I guess the day of the coverage, it does have 44 date numerology.
Yeah, today's getting the majority of attention. Yep, good one. Yeah, another 44 for the shooting.
So Space Needle also has the 208. Today's the 208th day of the year.
Yeah, because it is getting a lot of attention today. You're right. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you might want to measure from today to September 9th, the Seahawks opener.
Is it 44 days? I think we talked about it in the live stream today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I talked about how they're playing the Rangers today, the other 44 team.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't in Patreon today. I was on vacation.
Yeah, we actually talked about it because they got. If you look, so you guys, Seattle's playing Dallas today, right? And well, they're playing the Rangers, who pretty much represent Dallas in the MLB. And I always call Seattle the 19 city. Like the first person to die from this shooting was a 19-year-old. And by the way, Katie equals 19. Anyway, Seattle. They play their preseason opener on the Jesuit Order's birthday against Dallas. And then they play Dallas later this season on Pearl Harbor Day on Monday Night Football. Do you want to guess how many weeks that Monday is away that Seattle plays Dallas in primetime?
19.
Boom. So they play them in 19 days in the preseason and in exactly 19 weeks. And we're always talking about how they script all the sports together. So they got this MLB Seattle-Dallas matchup tonight, synced with the preseason and the regular season matchup.
Okay.
And Seattle's 44 like Rangers, and you got Seattle's the big focus with the shooting today, and you're right, under the Space Needle, and you're right, it is the 208th day of the year. So, yeah, good one.
All right, and there's also another shooting. Chiefs offensive coordinator's wife, Mia Bianimi.
For what team?
Son. Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator. It's his wife.
All right, we'll look at that too. We'll look at that too.
Yep. Eric Bianimi equals 207. The shooting happened last night on the 207th day of the year. It is 19 days until the Chiefs offensive coordinator's birthday. I noticed that was a Seattle number, and the Chiefs do play Seattle later this season. So both shootings.
Yeah, they play. That'll be the 100. That's on Sunday Night Football. That's the 106th game of the season, and then the next game's primetime Eagles hosting the Cowboys in the 107th game of the 107th season.
Yeah, it's Seattle 107 and 44, shooting 107 44, 44 days before the 107th season. I mean, it can't get more scripted than that.
Yeah, again, you guys just remember where the shooting happened. It exists. The Seattle Center exists because of the World's Fair, which is what the Space Needle was built for.
Right. And yeah, Sixers fourth championship in 44 years. How about it? Fo.
Yeah, you're right. It would be 44 years later, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I just wanted to add that information to the shooting. I'll see you later.
All right. If you guys thought Delaware wasn't a real state, just like me, think again. This voice is coming straight from there. All right. Appreciate it, man. He's already out of there. He vanished like the whole state. What's up, Anthony Brooks?
What's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Some more stuff on this LeBron thing. Quick guess for you. What season in the NBA's history do you think they only played 81 games?
For the NBA?
For the NBA, there was a season where they only played 81 games exactly.
God, I don't know. You got me, but I didn't even realize that happened.
It was 1966-67 where they went 68-13 and beat the Lakers. Or beat the Warriors.
Was the year. Yeah, that's Warriors 76ers.
Yeah.
Why was there an 81 game season that year?
They were moving up, like they were gradually changing the number of games. So like in 61-62, they began playing 80, and then the league added a game in 66-67, and then in 67-68 is when they started playing 82.
Okay, you guys, I think I might have forgot to mention that, MLK died 80 days after his birthday or on his 81st day of his age, like LeBron doing this transition between the 80th and 81st season. Okay.
Yeah. Another thing about this, in 66-67, head coach for the team, his name is Alex Hannum. he has an exact lineup with Kobe Bryant: 113, 41. I believe 157. I think the reverse reduction may be different, but in that season they started 46-4.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so and also in LeBron's first ever time making the playoffs with the Cavs in 2005-6, he went 7-6.
Yeah, yeah, go figure. Another 76. It was all there. Did you ever know that in his first press conference, like dude was standing behind him with the big Philly shirt?
No, certain things about like the script and everything. Once like it's like noticing a different car color. Like once you have it, like that's all you'll see. So now that I'm noticing it, it's real funny how they put like this stuff in your face, but you won't notice it until it's important.
The stories, I've been saying it the whole time in here, you guys, because once I started learning about this, I was like, wow, this proves that they've been scripting this stuff way before it happens.
And it's
It's
like
all
how
one successive story.
how are you doing one successive story like from the 60s? I can see if you're doing something from like the 90s, but this had to be in place since the inception of the league. It had to be perfect.
Somebody in the chat help me out. What's the 1968 show out of the UK? Is it called the Newsbenders? Is that what it's called? There's this show from the UK where this guy gets hired for this job and he finds out that his job is to write the news script 10 years out in advance. And he's like, what? He's like, what? You
Yeah.
didn't know that we've been scripting the news? And then he shows him like all the great examples. So,
Yeah. Also, Philly, they're currently on 55 playoff appearances. Their next one would be 56.
there's that number. LeBron's trying to go 5-6 in finals. I'm pretty sure LeBron's next game in the finals is 56.
Yeah, he's 22-33 right now. So it's 55 games. I was wondering like if they have him go to back-to-back finals. I'm not sure. They play 11 games and get 66 for 6-6 in the
If
finals.
he got 4 more wins, how many would he have?
26.
Does that number remind you of anything?
Yep, Bryant,
Jordan, game,
Jordan, yeah, game,
God.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny like seeing this stuff and it's like how we were talking about it being perfect and how it aligns with like other sports as well. It's like humans aren't making these scripts. It's not possible.
Oh, I don't know
It's
about that. I definitely think it's possible.
I don't know. For it to be
How old are
perfect,
you?
I'm 25.
You're not that old, man. You see, if you were my age, you'd think about it differently. I still remember being in middle school when they broke this news, and that was the day I realized my teachers weren't very smart. Because I was saying, well, if they announce that they can clone a sheep and man can make a mammal, I said, doesn't that mean man can make any mammal? And isn't man a mammal? So can't they make other men? And my teacher's like, oh,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what there is about. I don't know. If you can make a mammal, you can make a mammal. Do you know what day they revealed Dolly the sheep?
No.
They revealed the news of Dolly on February 22nd, the 53rd day of the year. Dolly the sheep 53, sheep 53. So the point I'm making is man is advanced, right? Science can do amazing things. That's how we're able to talk to each other in real time through a computer, even though we're probably thousands of miles apart. And again, that's way more complicated and takes way more genius than planning out a rigged sports script with simple addition, which is really what they're doing. I mean, sure, they might have to add up some big numbers over the course of 20 years, but still, that's definitely well within the capabilities of man.
Right.
They can
Right.
literally birth people when they want to. And again, I mean, they revealed Dolly the sheep back in the early 90s. Does that mean it was new technology then? I mean, they might have been able to make mammals for a lot longer than that. That might have just been when they decided to reveal it.
Oh no, I've been under the belief for a while that we're at least 20 years behind of what they have for us right now.
So that's what I mean. So why don't you think man can do this?
I know it's just going way back. It's like it's just tough to think about like point totals, like all of that stuff, all certain things, everything had to be perfect. It's like wow. It's more of a wow thing than anything.
Yeah, it is a wow thing, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, tell me what part of this man couldn't do.
Uh I'm just the only part of it. What I was thinking about is it being so perfect. That's all I was saying. I'm not fully denying it. Like obviously when you lay it out, obviously it does make sense. But it's like damn, it's more of a damn and like I said, wow, like this was perfect for 60 years ago. Like I just told you, they played 81 games in 67, and we're going into the 81st season. That's probably gonna represent Kobe. Kobe's from Philly. LeBron's going to Philly. It's like just things like that. It's just weird. It's more weird than anything.
Okay. Dale in the chat thinks that the Dolly thing was just a hoax and they made it up. I mean, I suppose that's possible, but
It
I
could
think they
be.
probably do have the capability. I mean, you look at all these perfect rituals with these athletes. It looks to me like they're making people for the courts, for the fields. They're literally contriving the existence of human beings for perfect scripts. Look what they just did with Yamal and Messi. I mean,
Oh yeah. That's probably top five craziest things in sports ever that I've seen. Him actually bathing him as a like he's a baby. He's not even like
well,
a little
maybe top
kid or
five
nothing.
real reveals. That's probably what they've been doing for a long time.
Yeah. But that's all I had on LeBron thing. I'm sure more stuff will come out,
Hold
especially when
up.
the
King of the Hill predicted Tony Romo would go to jail a week before it happened. I got to look into that. Okay. Another King thing. Remember, the Tony Romo news broke on the day LeBron went to Philly, and the only team that beat Mr. Moses Malone was Milwaukee that year. Like, Tony Romo got arrested in Milwaukee or Wisconsin. So, all right. All right.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Anthony.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, see you, man. All right, we got hometown. Maybe part of it's cut off. Maybe it's profit. Is it the hometown profit?
Hometown Prophet. Yeah, it's Matthew Lane.
Yeah. What's up?
What's going on, Zach? Hey, first off, for the last caller, yeah, they definitely manufacture all of this. I mean, I've read books written by Zionists predicting the fall of the United States over 150 years ago. So yeah, absolutely. They've had this all planned out for a very long time. I'll tell you a local news story. A guy I know blew his hand off 4th of July last year. He's 38 years old, but the news reported him as 22. So you don't know if the guy was 22 or 38 if you didn't know who he
They
was.
definitely fudge numbers in these stories.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time.
Hold up. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm just thinking of when modern Zionism started. It's not quite 150 years old, but okay, it's close.
It's pretty close, yeah. So I was just listening to your stream from this morning, and our caller who loves the Chargers, I got something to go with his. So growing up in Kent, Ohio, I followed Antonio Gates pretty closely. He played for Kent State, who has the lightning bolt and a golden eagle as their logo. I was under the belief that it represented Zeus, and then I did a little digging. One of the founders of Kent, his name was Marvin Kent. His father's name was Zenos, which means gift from Zeus. Marvin Kent donated the entire property that Kent State sits on today, and I'm pretty sure it's an Indian burial mound. But Antonio Gates played for the Chargers, went to Kent State. The Eagles are the Eagles, and you got the 76 connection. You got a LeBron James connection. He's come out to a lot of Kent State versus Akron college games, football, basketball, doesn't matter. He's been there for it. But I thought it was a weird connection. It just popped in my head listening to the caller on that show earlier. So I don't know if there's that, like, Gates is number 85. He just got put in the Hall of Fame last year, and he had how many Pro Bowls? 8. I don't know if any of those numbers line up with next season, but you know, the whole logo thing kind of threw me for a loop. So
Okay.
just want to put that out there. That's all I have for you today, Zach. Thanks for everything.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I just realized I forgot to talk about my church experience yesterday. I'm going to read Psalms 110 like the minister yesterday, and I'm going to try to read it like he did. I never had an experience in church like this. I said, this is why the minister is not normally a young guy. Somebody just send this guy to Hooked on Phonics. What's up, Gematria 32?
Yeah, what day's the baptism? What day is
Yeah,
that
that's not gonna happen. No, man, I was just like, has this guy read the Bible before? This is unreal.
No, he's not
You
gonna baptize
guys,
Ruby?
I'm thinking about quitting too and opening my own church because I was like, what the hell? They gave us this thing to donate. I mean, we did give them money because I would have felt bad going there and not giving a donation, but they gave us this piece of paper. It says, so far for July, $44,416 donated. They're looking to have, they said they'd like to have another $740,000 by the start of December. I was like, whoa. I was like, what do they need all this money for? How the hell did this guy can't even read the Bible and they raised $44,000 this month? Good God. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so, anyway. Yo, I can't stop laughing at the church. Wait, hold up. All right. Did you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs? The
Oh, yeah, I
shooting?
need to do that too. We got a Chiefs shooting.
Was it Eric Bellamy or how you say his last name? Is it Coach?
That's a complicated name to say, man. If you would have had the minister try to read this name, we would have been here for 20 minutes.
They named him?
I don't even know, man. I don't know.
Well, that shit is interesting because she got shot on the 207th day of the year, and his name equals 207
Oh, man.
in reverse.
Isn't it amazing how this just goes on every day?
Yeah, and it was 20 days to his next birthday, like death. His birthday, I think, is August 15th.
Wait a minute. Did you say August 15th?
Yeah, if anybody wants
So
to
the Jeju Order's birthday, the day that almost everyone plays their first preseason game?
Yeah, August 15th, 1969. He's 56 years old. 56.
Yeah, on the 207th day of the year, you guys.
Hey, how about this one? The article says right here that she was shot at 7:30, like 73, like sacrifice. You follow?
Every article, this one says it about 7:32. That one's super specific. We know why it says 32. I'm sure there's plenty that say 7:30, but just Kansas City's 32 like Chiefs. So this Chiefs related thing was at about 7:32 here. But yeah, it's got that 7-3 sequence like sacrifice and ritual sacrifice. Okay. Did we see how it lines up with Mahomes?
Oh no, I didn't do any of that yet. This was enough for me. I skimming through it. Like I was just like, another one.
It was 53 days before Mahomes' birthday, the big football number, 53-man roster, 53-yard wide field, Vesica Pisces, 53. A lot of 53 stuff going on.
Yep. And I guess, I'm going to leave it there, Zach. I'm going to let some other people get on. Thanks for the work, Zach. Thanks. All right.
Man, if we could just get a few more Gematria 32s in the world to just try typing something in and just see how fast it is to see through this stuff. I still remember when I was new to this one day, because like when I was new, and by the way, when I was new, there weren't these calculators. I had to do everything by hand. But it took me, I don't know, maybe it took me a week or two to start like looking at what day of the year it was. But once I did, I said, oh, now I see what's really going on. I was just blown away how just day after day things synced up. And realized when we first started, we weren't doing the reverse. So when I first started, I wouldn't have seen how his name's 207 in reverse. But the way I tested if reverse meant anything is I just went back and looked at old work. And I just, I would have done this. I said, oh my God, that happened on the 207th day of the year. And I go to my next old post, run it again, be like, wow, man, this reverse is the other half of the code. But then the moron's like, oh, now he's got even more ciphers. And it's like, are these people just dumb? Because are you not looking at what I'm showing you? I'm showing you how it just makes it even deeper. Makes it even more undeniable. But mental midgets will go, but you had 4 ciphers to make the connection. It's like, okay. So what are the odds that his name would equal 207 in one of the 4 ciphers in a calendar that's nearly 400 days? Isn't that about a 1% chance? Isn't that about 1%? Okay, if you think 1%, here, let's actually, it's a little bit higher than 1%, right? It's like 1% and a fraction. Here, because this is what you got to do when people, just put them on the spot then. Say, okay, 4 divided by 365, unless we're talking about a leap year, then we have 366. That's about just barely more than a 1% chance. Okay, say here, let's put 100 pieces of paper in this little hat right here. We're gonna shake it up. One of them I'm gonna draw a star on. You think this is so probable? Pull out the star on the first try. Pull it out on the first try here. And if you don't, and say if I don't, and then set up something that they definitely don't want to do, make it a bet. Okay, it's so easy because there's 4 ciphers. Because it's just gonna line up because there's 4 ciphers. Okay, here, let's do the same odds. Here, 100 pieces of paper in the hat. One has a star on it. If you pull out the star first try, then you win. If not, I win. And you have to go run around the neighborhood like a jackass totally naked with the sign that says I'm a fucking moron on the back of your back. How about that? Because wouldn't that be a fair deal? I'm a fucking retard. Run around the neighborhood naked with that sign on your back. Like when we were little kids and we'd put a sticky note on the back of somebody's shirt that said, kick me in the nuts. So, because really that's how it is. These morons are like, but 4 ciphers, so. It's like, yeah, 4 ciphers. Can you do math? Still almost improbable. Here, let's play the hat game. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Another point to prove. Show these people ESPN's college football picture.
Oh yeah, it's still up there. This goes on every day on ESPN, you guys. All right, this was the top story this morning, but today leaves 157 days left in there, you guys. That's today. What's up here for this was ESPN's top story this morning. Yeah, I mean, this goes on every day. You learn numerology, you'll start to see the numbers they got up on the screen day after day. So yeah, on the day leaving 157 days left in here, they got to have this. In 157 years of college football, these 100 games define the modern sport. Yeah, exactly.
Last thing, the Phillies won 11-4 last night. LeBron James won 14.
Yeah, we just, on the day Caldwell Pope came over, Mr. 114 himself.
Last night in that baseball game, Zach, the Yankees Phillies, the Sunday night game, yeah, they won 11-4. The Phillies
The
did.
Yankees got their 46th loss too, like LeBron's 4-6 in finals.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point those 2 things out. But I appreciate you teaching me the knowledge.
What do you think? What do you think that's a good way to retort? Should we start doing that to people? Oh, 4 ciphers, so you can get everything. Okay, let's play a game then.
Well,
if you don't pull it out first try, I get your house, I get everything.
Well, those 4 ciphers deal with duality, forwards and backwards. I mean, everything has to do with duality.
I'm sure you've ran into morons yourself who are like, well, there's 4 ciphers though, so, and they act like, oh, because there's 4 ciphers, of course everything's going to line up perfectly every day.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's duality for me, forward and backwards. I mean, up, down, you got it all over it's all over.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, you got some great students, Zach. Just
Indeed.
want you to know. I appreciate you teaching me the work. Have a great day.
Yeah, you
Goodbye.
too. Yeah, something else. This guy's got the same birthday as the Jesuit order, and his name equals 72 forwards and backwards. Remember, we got the first Jesuit pope on the 72nd day of the year, plus a million other Jesuit things with the 72. All the layers of coincidence. Nar was in the back, but he dropped out. Here, I'm gonna drop the link if you guys want to come in while I filibuster since there's nobody in the back. If you guys think I'm lying, listen. The minister was a nice guy, and I'll tell you something else that was funny in the sermon because I talked to him before the service and let him know that I was raised Lutheran. He all of a sudden, just in the middle of his sermon, he started talking about how Martin Luther used to go to confessional for 6 hours a day. I was like, I've never heard that in my life. What the hell's he talking about? It's like, he's saying that because I'm the new guy here? What is this? But, okay, he read Psalm 110, right? His whole sermon yesterday, well, it was mostly about Psalm 110, but I'm not even kidding you guys. This is how he read. I never, listen, when I was a kid in church, I went to 2 different churches growing up. Both were older pastors, men with gray hair, lots of life experience, knew how to read, knew the Bible inside and out. I was just beside myself. But then when they handed out this thing about how much money they raised for the month, I was like, I got to start a church. This is how we're going to get the resources. This guy can't even read the damn psalm, and he's raised over $40,000 this month. It says earnings for July, $44,416. We're not even done with the month. He got the first line right. He said, the Lord says to my Lord. And then things started to get rough. Sit at my right hand He was like pausing and just, until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. What the hell? The Lord will extend your mighty. He said a different word than scepter. I don't even. And then he went back scepter. I was like, is this real right now? This is the leader of the service. The Lord will extend your mighty. You guys just stuttered over the whole thing, but then when we got to this name right here, and this is what I do when I have to read these Bible names too, so I mean, I sympathize, but when you're the leader of the church, you're supposed to know how to say the names. When we got to this name right here, I mean, we were on it for a while. Melchiz. Oh, I was just like, this is unreal. I mean, no, I live in a small town, so there's less people and less talent, but my God. I was about to go up there. I think it's Melchizedek. It's just like we were stuck on this word for so long. In the order of Never seen anything like it in my life. But then when this came around, the collection time, I thought, holy shit, you don't even need to know how to read. You can struggle with every damn line in the psalm, and still the people are going to throw money at you. And this is what I mean. For all you guys who hate on me for being honest about not being a religious person, I already knew long ago that if you're part of a religious cult, it brings all kinds of money to you. It brings all kinds of money to you to just pretend to be in the cult. You know, look at the comments all the day. Zach, you would help so many more people if you would just humble yourself to believe in Jesus. I don't think I'd really be helping anybody. I'm pretty sure this religion thing's what's got the whole world effed. Everyone's sitting around waiting for fairy tale, man. No, trust me, if I wanted to sell out, you'd see me come on here and be like, you know what, you guys, I found Jesus. We're going to start, can we start with a prayer for Jesus? No, I saw it all yesterday. I saw a guy who could barely read, leading a church service, who couldn't pronounce the name in the psalm, but he's still bringing it home. And he's asking for. I was tempted to ask why $740,000. You guys know why I'm curious about $740,000, right? Says they need $740,000 by December. $740,000 more. I was just like, there's no way this guy's doing gematria. He can hardly read. Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables. Something interesting that he did bring up, though, was apparently the VenMo guy is trying not to die and doing all these procedures to try and stay alive, but was diagnosed recently that he is going to die. He had to bring up that story because he said, everybody will die, which is why you got to get right with Jesus before you go so you can have the eternal. That's all the whole Christian thing's about, right? If you just get with the program, you'll get the eternal afterlife. Well, what's up, Nar?
What's up, Go? How are you?
What's up, man?
Good. I just want to talk about this LeBron trade really quick. Philadelphia just in the calculator's 24. He goes there in his 24th season.
That's a good point. The abbreviations that are on the screen all the time, yeah?
Yep. If you type in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the Latin, it's 1611, like the Bible.
Oh, like how he passed Robert Parrish
Yes.
this year with the 1611. Like King James came out in the King James Bible came out in 1611.
Yep.
Man,
And
that's a good addition. I didn't hear anybody say that yet. Boom.
yeah, so he completes the Bible ritual and goes to Philadelphia, the church ties. You have Moses Malone. You also have I want to say, so this one is, I didn't find this, but his games since Kobe passed away, since January 26, 2020, including playoffs, he's played 443 games. So his first will be his 444th, signaling Moses Malone 444. When LeBron won in 2020, he also posted a picture with just 444 on the picture. So I think there's a connection with Moses Malone, LeBron. Even Julius Erving's nickname was Black Moses. So I think it's biblical. I don't know, something going on with
Absolutely.
Philadelphia.
It's always biblical.
So I don't know. That's 1611 with Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. When I saw that, and then LeBron has the big Boule tattoo. Of course, he goes to the founding of the Boule Society. So, and you said the Sixers are what in the finals? The record? It's like 4-5 or
The
something.
city of Philadelphia. Let me add it all up one more time. I forgot, man. But I know there. I'm pretty sure the city of Philadelphia is 4-5. So there's two ways to look at it. Does LeBron get him to 5-5 and potentially 6-5 for the 65 city, or is it that Psalm 4:6 thing from the King James Bible?
But Boulay in the calculator is 55 in ordinal.
That's
So
right. Yeah, it is. Yep.
I'm not
It's 82,
20.
like how he goes there after the 80th season ends.
Yeah, 277, like the Pope's full name. I don't know. It's something going on. Caldwell Pope there, but we'll see. That's all I have.
All right. Appreciate that, Nar. Great fun.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man. How about that, you guys? Robert Parrish. I mean, Parrish is a name of part of a church. He does the 1611 thing. Oh my God, man. These scripts. What's up, Elohim? Elohim. Elohim. Let me go out to GAD. What's up, GAD?
Hey, what's good, Zach? How you doing?
Doing all right. What's
Hear
up,
me?
man?
That's yeah. Hope you can hear me pretty well. But yeah, it's funny how that shit, man. LeBron, you can predict this shit 2 or 3 months in advance of where he's going. Of course, with everything connecting with Kobe Bryant and whatnot.
Yo,
But I was
Albert.
just thinking,
Yeah.
Elohim, you were slow, so GAD went. Wait till he's done real quick.
But you can hear me though, right?
I hear you now.
Baby.
Go ahead, GAD.
yeah, no doubt. But yeah, with that being said, so what I'm really thinking about, like, because you brought up the other day with LeBron James talking about he's not done sacrificing. I think, I'm honestly, since there's so many bodies around him, more so than any other athlete, specifically in America, I honestly think it might be Dr. J, because here it is. He's going to turn 42. His name's my bad. I can hear an echo, but his name is equal 42, right? He turns 42 before the end of the year, right? And then Dr. J turns 76, or no, he's 76 now.
He's 76 right now, yeah.
Right now. So, do you think that something might happen to him?
Yeah, and again, Randall Cunningham better look out. I explained all the reasons why. His birthday is the anniversary of King James's death.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, you must have missed the video I did with Randall Cunningham. There's a lot to Randall Cunningham.
Wow.
And then we were talking Mike Schmidt. He's another Philly legend. He's 76 right now.
Right, he played for the Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's the Eagles quarterback.
Wow.
Look at this, you guys. In case you missed this, Randall Cunningham, born on King James' death anniversary. He was born one day after the 76ers moved to Philadelphia. And he was born on the 338th death anniversary of King James. And the Philadelphia 76ers, spelled out as words, equals 338, just like the Oklahoma City Thunder. And again, Kobe won his second championship over OKC, so there's something to think about with that. OKC has the 101 connection like Philly and LeBron. But yeah, Randall Cunningham equals 76. His full name equals 101 like LeBron Ramon James like Philadelphia. He started 107 games for Philly, so I think about that with the 107th NFL season upcoming, and ritual sacrifice equals 107. And the day that he played his first game versus LA was the day leaving 107 days left in the year. Like, Kobe, LA, Philly, Will Smith, LA, Philly, LeBron going from LA to Philly. And what is it again? The Rams do play the Eagles this year on the 4th. 4 number of death, LA number, LeBron on his 4th team, foe, with Moses Malone dying 4 years before Kobe in light of the Exodus 4 thing where the staff gets turned to the snake. Filibuster for me. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, no, yeah, just real quick. So yeah, with LeBron, I mean, there's been so many people that has died, you know, around this dude, man. Like, with Kobe Bryant passing the exact same. They were really the day after LeBron James passed him up on the all-time scoring list, or at least, before he became the all-time scorer in NBA history. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with him. And then, obviously Kobe Bryant died the same year COVID came around. And ironically, Kobe in Hebrew translates into COVID.
Remember
Ironically
that?
enough.
They changed that though. It was that way on the Google Hebrew to English calculator, but then they
Oh, they
changed
changed
it
it?
so it didn't do that. Yeah, they changed it probably.
Wow.
They probably changed it in 2021. They changed it a while back, but it was that way at first. We were documenting, showing that. We're like, huh, isn't that weird?
Wow. Wow, they try to cover their tracks. I mean, they've been scrubbing a lot of stuff off the internet for a minute, like like I was telling you about the Bible Destruction Crew, where they took out certain books. That information was readily available like not 20 years ago, but like 12, 13 years ago when I heard about it, when I was taught about it. Now, I try to look up some information on that. You won't be able to find anything outside of like some fragments of YouTube videos by the same group that brought the information out. So yeah, they've been hard at work, trying to suppress a lot of stuff, information for a minute.
You guys, the Rangers became 7-3 versus the Mariners, beating them 7-3 today, which means from Seattle's perspective, they're 3-7. You just pay attention; you'll just see the jokes day after day, man. That's their season record, 7-3 as they beat them 7-3. Funny stuff. Okay. Okay. Anything else, GAD?
Oh no, God.
Well, what do you think about that Seattle shooting? GAD's out in the Seattle area.
Yeah, hear me?
What do you think about that Seattle shooting story?
It's interesting in this way. Somebody that died, a kid that got shot, and someone's in critical condition. I don't know. I mean, do you think it's authentic?
I don't at all. No, I don't think so at all. They said the first two victims were ages 19 and 44, the Seattle numbers. So the Sprite of Seattle just turned 44 years old this year, saying that mayor just turned 44 a few days ago.
Wow, 44. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Damn, no.
All right, GAD.
You know what's funny?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to go out there, but they're doing all kinds of Christian things, probably best to stay inside.
Uh-oh, we lost GAD. GAD, your signal went out.
Yeah, take it easy.
All right, let him in. All right, we got Elohim, Punk Rock, Richard. Zero is infinite. What's up, Elohim? Just so you know, your messages aren't getting blocked, Georgie. I see it right here. Elohim, what's up? Can you hear me? All right, he's having technical issues. What's up, Punk Rock?
Yo, Zach. Yo, go to the NBA on ESPN real quick.
Yo.
You gotta go back. Yo, what's up? Here,
Yo, you can hear me now?
Go.
All right, we'll let Elohim go before he has more technical troubles, then we'll come back to Punk Rock. What's up, Elohim?
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what's up with these devices, man. But just touch back on what the guy was saying earlier about whether it's humans doing this. I think it's definitely humans doing this, and I think they're using technology. I feel like they've been having this AI shit for centuries, and I feel like they've just been using the technology to pump out these these, because if I can sit here and use their AI software to decode the games, they've definitely been using this for God knows how long. You get what I'm saying? So, but yeah, definitely man doing it. But Zach, you do believe there's other beings here, right?
Don't delete comments like Randall is LeBron. Just let them post whatever they want. The more comments, the better for the algorithm. Stop. Just the only people to block are when, like, the squirrel boy who parks cars at the casino in Vegas starts spamming his thing. That's the only thing to block. Go ahead, Elohim.
You do believe there's other beings here, right?
Well, I mean, it's possible.
Okay, I mean, I know we can't physically, prove it, but ever since my uncle talked to me about how they're using black magic to trade consciousness back in Africa, man, that has really just rose my eyebrows. Having the fact that these people are using black magic on, the U.S. government is using black magic on their people every day. So.
Yeah. I mean, it seems highly probable to me.
Yeah, but anyway, that was all, man. I'm gonna let the Delaware guy get in here.
Okay, alrighty, Louis. Take care.
All right.
Has some feedback there, but it's all good. What's up, Punk Rock?
Zach, you got to go back to February 22nd, 2026, NBA. The scores, Lakers fell. The score was 111-89. You called it out that day. You said Celtics will win by 22 on the 22nd, and the Lakers got their 22nd loss. But look at that. Lakers fell to 16-11 at home, and the Sixers improved to 16-11 on the road.
King James too. I remember this game. Yeah, King James 89, Bible in 1611, and where's the Philly? Oh, Philly is playing in the original home of the Lakers too, Minneapolis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the 135 too. The big Philly number, man. I'm sure we were laughing at that day. There's a lot to keep straight. Timberwolves stayed on 35 wins like King James. So look at that, you guys. 16-11, right? And 89 in one score, 35 in the other. Both King James numbers. Again, LeBron just went to Philly 35 days after the real King James birthday. The Warriors lost with 89 on the real King James birthday. These are the original two ciphers when we started, just right here. Alphabetical order and alphabetical order with numerology. Man,
keep that up there. Keep that King James up there. The reverse cipher, the 154. That game was a span of 154 days before the signing.
Okay, and then it was 154 days after Charles Barkley's birthday too, who used to play in Philly. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever looked into 1973 Knicks winner?
And by the way, I mean 53rd. Hold on, 53rd day of the year. Just Pennsylvania's 53 too. That number was huge with the finals. You had the Penn Station stabbing right before the first game in Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks going to win their first finals in 53 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting into the Knicks right now because Earl Monroe. You got to look into this guy. He was on the 1973 championship-winning Knicks team. He's 81 years old right now. It's the upcoming 81st season. And, of course, the Knicks haven't won in 53 years. His name equals 53. He was a big star on that Knicks team, Earl Monroe. So that's somebody else that should be on your radar. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there's going to be sacrifices for that Knicks championship as time ticks on. We know that's how it works. But, yeah. And LeBron's planning to live in New York and travel by helicopter to Philly.
Oh, about that. Did you know that was 159 days before?
Hold up, Punk Rock. Do you believe that you have participated in black magic?
Me?
Kid Flash says, hate to burst your bubble, but if you've won off of one of Zach's picks, you have participated in black magic. Do you see it that way?
I don't even know how to respond to that because it doesn't really make sense to me.
We're just taking advantage of the rig system. We're not doing black magic. We're saying this is how these guys rig games. We're just getting ahead of their moves. It's like that's where know your enemy comes from. If you know how your enemy moves, you can move ahead of them. That's
Exactly. That's
I
all
don't
I'm
call
doing.
that black magic. I think you're twisting things over there, Kid Flash. I think the kid in your name is standing out. Sounds like little kid logic. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm actually looking right now. Earl Monroe is from Philly.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. And they
Yeah.
had that big series in the second round with that Yankees announcer dropping dead, who was an Eagles
His
fan.
birthday is the first of the last 41 days of the year, too.
Yeah. About the helicopter, though. LeBron, the signing was 159 days to his birthday.
Man, they called this
Helicopter-
guy Black Jesus. Did you know that? They
What?
called this guy Black Magic. The Duke of Earl. I like that song. Black Jesus was his nickname. He better look out. Yikes.
Yeah. German Jesus is Dirk, right?
Did they call Dirk German Jesus? I know they called him Dirk Diggler. Dirk Diggler.
Here, let me look it up. Yeah, German Jesus. That was one of the nicknames.
Okay, I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah. A helicopter, though, has that 159. That was announced 159 days before LeBron's birthday.
Okay.
So, yeah. More
Another
script.
crazy good find. It was this same voice right here, the lone man in Delaware, who called in about how we knew Willis Reed died at 80 on the 80th day of the year, but this voice from Delaware, population of 1, he called in and said, man, look at what happened the day Willis Reed died. The Spurs fell to 19 and 53, and then that's how they got Wemby. Willis Reed, number 19, 53 years, 80th season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was black magic since you spotted that? Was that performing black magic to catch that?
Nah, I mean, only black magic that happens is really on these courts, like Devin Booker and Alex Smith on the football field.
Yeah,
So,
when you guys start saying things like that, it's just like, man, go check back into kindergarten, kid. Come on,
that's
man.
got to be a troll, but that comment doesn't make any sense because
I
we're
think
not
he just
even the one
called in the stream
orchestrating
the
it.
other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably one of those Christian guys. All right, Zach. I'll see you later.
All right. Appreciate it. We got Richard, and then Zero is Infinite. What's up, Richard?
Yo, what's that? You hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I can hear an echo.
I don't know what to say about the echo thing. I guess I'm just going to have to run everything from the soundboard because the setting, it shouldn't be making any echo. The settings are all good.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna continue, but I had a couple observations about the shooting in Berlin, real quick.
Okay.
The chancellor, you look him up. He's born November 11th, and the shooting came 256 days after his birthday.
Or on the 257th day of his age on 25/7. Did you
Yeah.
not see the video I did on it?
Nah, I gotta check that out. But I was.
Oh,
just
here,
going
yeah.
through details.
Because I already, that's why I said I wasn't going to review all that,
Yeah.
but now since you're bringing it up, here, I'll just show people. Because all the phrasing they use, watch, I'll just show you how this was. Right here. It was his 257th day of his age, or like you said, the 256. But
Yeah.
all the phrasing for what happened was vehicle driven into crowd, 257. So on his 257th day on 25/7, 55th prime, pride
Yeah.
event. And then, the Berlin's on the 52nd parallel, and it happened 52 days from the mayor's birthday. Pride 52.
Yeah, Pride and Pope 52.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a span of 52 days to the Pope's birthday.
Yeah, and that Berlin Pride thing, it was inaugurated on June 30th. So it'd been
Oh,
25
it started
days
in
after.
history on June 30th? Okay.
Yeah, June 30th, 1979. So 47 years ago. Vatican 25 and 47.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I had. That's all I had for that.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
What's up? Zero is Infinite.
Hey, how you doing, Zach? What's up, Truth Community? I just wanted to call and talk about King of the Hill, that is.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the funny thing that I found. I was ended up watching the reboot they had going on, And they had a golfing episode. So before I get into that, let me set this up. On 12/15/13, so December 15th in 2013, the Packers played the Cowboys in Arlington, Texas, and Matt Flynn, who is from Tyler, Texas, made that crazy comeback against Dallas, right?
Okay.
On 7/20/26, that would have been the debut of the 15th season of King of the Hill. On episode 6, directly at 12 minutes and 15 seconds, Hank wakes up out of his sleep and yells, "Don't throw in the coverage, Tony Romo." There's no context before it, there's no context after it. And the episode is about Hank and Peggy playing in a golf tournament. And Peggy goes through changes and she wants to pull out of the golfing tournament. So now we fast forward to Tony Romo. Tony Romo is arrested in Milwaukee and he's pulled out of the Cascades Country Club, which is in Tyler, Texas. During that December 15th game, Tony Romo threw 2 interceptions in back-to-back drives. One he threw to Sam Shields, and then another one when they got the ball back after the Packers scored, he threw another one to Tremont Williams. So the thing about the golfing episode is that was the first time that they had done a golfing episode since season 6, episode 15. And the episode that we're talking about right now was episode 6, season 15. So I found all that to be very interesting.
Something else I'm thinking about is I know that if you guys didn't know this, the first forward pass in football history was thrown in Wisconsin, starting the quarterback position, of course, by the Jesuit school, St. Louis University, which is why I think Brady got his 201st win versus St. Louis and won his first Super Bowl. Remember, Rams equals 201, like the Jesuit order. But yeah, I learned that actually when that you had that Christmas parade tragedy the other year. I was just looking at the history of that Waukesha, Wisconsin. I was like, wow, that's where the first ever forward pass was thrown. I didn't know that. And you think about Lombardi, the Jesuits, setting up camp up there with the Packers, who won the first ever Super Bowl. But there's probably a joke with that too, beyond what you're just saying. Just because I'm just thinking about how Tony Romo's a quarterback, gets in trouble in Wisconsin where the quarterback position began.
And then 6 or 7 days later, he ends up getting arrested for a DUI and pulling out of his golfing tournament.
You know what's funny? So he got okay, it was 44 days before the anniversary of the first forward pass. That's a big number with Wisconsin sports. Wisconsin's 44, but the news also broke the day after, which was the day LeBron went to Philly, and that was 43 days prior, and that's a big football number, and that's also a GOAT number, and Tony's no GOAT, but he might become the GOAT of football broadcasting. People like him. So, yeah, okay, the King of the Hill thing's crazy, and then that fits in with the whole news on LeBron, because the news did break on the anniversary of King James becoming the king. And what else were we saying? There was something about, well, Moses Malone, the only team he lost to in that playoff run when they won the finals in '83 was versus Milwaukee. Okay, but yeah, somehow, some way, all this stuff is connected. But it seems like the main thing is King of the Hill, just another King connection.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up and end it there. I saw that Hank's birthday is referenced as 4/15. Tony Romo's birthday is 4/21, and the first golfing episode in King of the Hill was with Willie Nelson, and his birthday is 4/29. And as you know, 33 is a big number in Texas, and Willie Nelson is born in 1933.
Okay, very interesting.
So I appreciate the channel. Thank you for the chat, and y'all keep going.
All right, appreciate it, man. Yeah, if you guys didn't know that about the first forward pass being thrown by a Jesuit university versus Carroll College, another Catholic school in Wisconsin, you start to realize, like, okay, this has to do with the Packers winning the first Super Bowl, Jesuit Vince Lombardi. Yeah, if you guys remember the guy who got released from prison and ran over again, why was there a Christmas parade in November? And don't forget Aaron Charles Rodgers, too, Mr. 201 himself. Grew up in the very Jesuit Bay Area. But, yeah, if you weren't around at that time, we went into detail on this. We're like, I just learned something new, man. More Jesuit history, more 201s. The mayor's office in Waukesha, Wisconsin's at address 201. Yeah, the guy who drove over the crowd, his name equaled 201. He supposedly had a music video with the same red Ford Explorer that he ran the crowd over with. And again, it was just like, why are they having a Christmas parade in November? I mean, is this whole thing just like a setup ritual? The news broke out of the mayor's office. That was the first thing we said. The news is coming out of the mayor's office. It was address 201. Then next thing you know, they released the name of the guy who did it. His name's 201. Then you look into the attorney general who released him from prison early, right before he ran over everybody. He was Jesuit educated, if I remember right. He went to Marquette. If you've ever seen, what's the Chris Farley movie? Tommy Boy. It starts out, and Chris Farley actually went to Marquette, the Jesuit University in Wisconsin, but at the beginning, he's taking the exam, and it says at the top, exam 201, but he doesn't know the answer for John Hancock. He thinks it's Herbie Hancock. And then, if you've seen Tommy Boy, at the end of the movie, it shows that tower where supposedly he died at. It's the same tower where he goes in there strapped up with like he's a terrorist about to blow up the building. And don't forget that movie came out right before 9/11 too. You guys, isn't it pinned to join the stream? Isn't there a link join? Isn't it pinned right at the bottom of the chat to join the stream? So yeah, that's why it's there, so you can join. If you're asking if you can join, of course you can join. I've only dropped the link 1,000 times, plus it's pinned there. Let me see if I can pull up that story of the dude who drove over the crowd for just another classic 201. There's been a gazillion of them. I remember once upon a time when we first came on the 201 number, someone was like, I wonder if there's been 201 201 rituals in history. Man, there's 201 201 rituals probably every 6 months. Hold up. Daryl Brooks. That was the dude's name. Daryl Brooks, 201-84, like the Jesuit order. Like LeBron born 201 days after the 84 NBA Finals ended. My daughter just sat right up. She's up. Hold on. Let's see. All right, looks like we don't have anybody else. Person who said they wanted to come on, I don't see you back here. Oh, there we go. We got somebody. What's up, AC?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Something that I forgot to mention when I was talking about Mike Schmidt earlier is that LeBron and him have an overlap in 3 of the 4 main ciphers.
Who does?
Mike Schmidt.
Oh yeah. Mike Schmidt, LeBron James, triple overlap. Yeah. Yeah, he better look out. 65 days.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. If they were going to do somebody, because he has that Ohio connection, it's pretty scary.
The age range of 76 to 79 going to be threatening for these Philadelphia celebrities because LeBron Raymond James is 79. The Pope graduated from Villanova in 77. So I think we're going to see those numbers coming up.
Have you ever like caught on to this? How they always say the energy changed in all these mass shooting articles. Like whenever there's one of these mass shootings, they always say that, and that
Everything is about energy. Yeah.
it equals 86 and 67. The energy changed. I was like,
Well,
wow.
energy is just 74. Also, like
Yeah,
English, like Gematria, like a million other things. The Seattle Center, for example, is 74 acres where the shooting happened. You
because
know, and
I
the story about the Berlin guy, they released him from prison 74 days before it happened. I mean, they're just doing the same stuff over and over.
yeah, because I mean I haven't been decoding that long. I mean you've been doing this for a long time. I just didn't know if you picked up on it. But the past three mass shootings, every article that I read, that statement's in there, and I was like, there has to be a reason for it. Then sure enough, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Everything they do is about manipulating energy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I mean,
look at
yeah,
the sports with the crazy finishes and the crazy comebacks, and just one side's loving it, the other side's out of their mind because they can't believe it's happening. I mean, look at the Cavs give up a 22-point lead to the Knicks. The coach doesn't call a single timeout. He's grinning on the sideline. Fans are losing their mind. I'm sure people like my dad, are like my dad who just lives and dies with his sports teams. He's probably thinking, how could he not call a timeout? Man, he's getting all that money and doesn't know to call timeout. It's like that's what it's about. It's just about messing with you.
yep. It's all about manipulating our energy. I mean, they suck the life out of us. Like we're just getting played every day watching these sports.
All of it.
They're feeding off of
All of
our.
it, man. All of it's just about manipulating and outraging people and shocking people and scaring people. I always tell you the movie Monsters Inc., that little kids movie came out right after 9/11. Everyone should watch that movie that shows the whole monster lineup walking out and they got the clock behind them and the hands are on the 9 and 11. It came out right after 9/11.
Yeah, I was actually having an interesting conversation with my dad the other night about some of this stuff, and it was really like clicking with him for the first time, and he was just like, "So what's the reason?" I said, "Well, it's not only just to divide us and to control us, but it's also to manipulate our energy." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I just had to go farther into that, and that's what a lot of these people don't understand is like these huge like mass casualty events affect our energy like in negative ways, especially when we get manipulated to believe that they're completely real.
No? All right, AC, yeah, great points. But yeah, I often bring up energy, and if you type in the word gematria on YouTube, the first video that should come up is a Jewish rabbi, and his opening statement is that this whole thing of gematria is all about energy. So
Yeah, it's really interesting that
again, the word equals in the most simple cipher, it equals energy.
yeah, if nobody knows about the number 74, they need to look up your video on it.
Yeah.
Start there.
I even started this book just talking all about 74. So I mean, I've been talking about 70. So the first video I ever made was about 74.
Yeah, I actually haven't read it all the way through. I just started reading it actually for the first time like a month ago. I'm probably 100 pages into it. I need to finish it, but it's a good read.
Well, thanks for getting it.
Yep. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. If you guys haven't read my book, there's ways to buy it. There's ways to download it for free on the internet. But that's my second book. I mean, that's the one I wrote about Cooties 19, and it would have been a better read before I had that book out pretty quick. And again, I said exactly when their scam would end. I said it'll end when the year of the tiger comes around. I told people why they better not get those pokey-dokes when they come out. The pokey-dokes weren't out yet. But I warned people why not to get them because of what Bill Gates had said. Bill Gates already told everybody what the plan was. So, problem is people don't have enough information. What's up, A?
Oh damn, that was quick. What up, though?
There's nobody else in the back.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna give your followers this game, but you got to call me, man. I'm not giving up everything on the air. We got to talk first. Today, so somebody just texted me about a baseball game and let me know about a pitcher that could become 13-1 and they was like, yeah, that's good. If that happens for another prediction.
Yeah, that's Ohio related.
Then like it started raining. Like I go to Weather Channel, the Weather Channel app, and of course, okay, I see where it's raining, but I zoom out to look at the entire United States. Now I would charge you to do the same thing if you can on your computer, weather.com, and look at the entire United States and tell me what just jumps out at you. And then type in the word thunderstorm and look at the reverse order.
Is there an easy way to see the whole United States on weather.com?
Yeah, just click on, well, the website should be the same as the app, I'm assuming. Because
mine just reads my location and tells me what it is around here.
There should be like a zoom out button or a radar button. Like on the app, you could zoom out, or you could click on radar and then you just keep zooming out. You can see the entire United States. But the long story short, point of it is, it's only one section of these United States that has a thunderstorm going on that's passing over one baseball game. That's not about to take place anymore, needless to say.
Okay.
Today is the day leaving 157 days left in the year. Thunderstorm equals 157.
Okay.
Yeah, it's total weather warfare. And the guy that texted me, he just was laughing. Like, I'm like, yeah, like this, like his text message. And it started drizzling and it started raining. And I'm like, come on, you can't be serious. Like, I didn't even know about the whole thunder. Some just said type in thunderstorms. And lo and behold, there it is, staring me right in the face. But yeah,
okay.
that's you know. But yeah, man, we gotta catch up. True reuniting, man. That was inspirational. So that's why I say we gotta talk off the air first.
Okay. All right. We'll have to connect. I appreciate it, A.
All right, no doubt.
All right, take care, man. Out here, man, I haven't gotten to enjoy a day of being 43 yet without living in a smoke cloud. The smoke all blew in here where I live on my birthday. That's how we woke up to, and it's just been nothing but smoke since. But anyway, this morning it finally got to the toll where it feels like you have a sore throat from breathing the smoke for so long. In 2020, we had a whole month of this. I hope it's not like that again. Anyway, sweet girl's ready to go do something else. So we'll leave it there for now. Again, thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thanks to everyone who supports the work. People who've bought my book. Again, you can find ways to download this for free. If you are a member of my Patreon, just search the ebooks. If you're on my Patreon, you can download it for free. Absolutely. I mean, well, sort of free that way. You're supporting the Patreon, but that's access to the digital version of both of my books are there. So anyway, if you got here late, definitely watch the beginning. The beginning's where the content was. We'll leave it there for now. Till next time, Truth Seeker. Have a good one.